In times of urgent need, when the world seems to close in around us, there's a timeless prayer that has brought comfort and hope to countless souls. Today, we're diving deep into the heart of Psalm 70, a powerful plea for divine intervention that resonates just as strongly now as it did thousands of years ago. Imagine standing at the edge of a precipice, your deepest fears and most pressing needs swirling around you like a storm. Now, picture a lifeline being thrown your way, not just any lifeline, but one woven from the very words of Scripture, imbued with the power to transform your circumstances. That's what we're exploring today. Whether you're facing a personal crisis, a daunting challenge, or simply seeking a deeper connection with your faith, this journey through Psalm 70 is for you. We'll unpack each verse, bringing it to life with stories of real people who've experienced the transformative power of this prayer. You'll discover how to apply these ancient words to your modern life, finding strength, hope, and yes, even joy, in the midst of your most urgent needs. So take a deep breath, open your heart, and let's embark on this spiritual journey together. It's time to unlock the power of Psalm 70 and invite miracles into your life. O Lord, make haste to help me. O God, come quickly to my rescue. In the bustling city of Arbaville, there lived a young woman named Sarah. She had always been a pillar of strength for her community, organizing food drives and volunteering at the local shelter. But lately, her own life had been struck by a series of misfortunes. Her small business was on the verge of collapse, and her mother had fallen gravely ill. Sarah found herself at a crossroads, her faith wavering for the first time in her life. One rainy afternoon, as she sat in her empty store, Sarah remembered the words of Psalm 70. With trembling hands, she reached for her worn Bible and began to read aloud. Let those who seek my life be put to shame and confusion, let those who wish me evil be turned back and brought to dishonor. As Sarah's voice echoed through the empty store, she felt a strange warmth spreading through her chest. It was as if the very words were coming alive, wrapping around her like a protective embrace. Dear friends, in times of trouble, when the world seems to close in around us, remember that we are never truly alone. The Lord hears our cries, no matter how faint or desperate they may be. Take a moment now to close your eyes and imagine yourself in Sarah's shoes. Feel the weight of her burdens, the trembling of her faith. Now, let's join our voices with hers in prayer. Let those who say to me, "Aha, aha," turn back because of their shame. As Sarah continued to read, something extraordinary began to happen. The rain outside started to subside, and a ray of sunlight broke through the clouds, casting a golden glow across the store. It was as if nature itself was responding to her prayer. Beloved, do you see how even the smallest act of faith can move mountains? In your own life, what storms are you facing? What darkness threatens to engulf you? I invite you now to write down your own urgent needs on a piece of paper. Hold it close to your heart as we continue this journey of faith together. But may all who seek you rejoice and be glad in you, may those who love your salvation say continually, "Great is the Lord." While Sarah prayed, across town, her friend Michael was facing his own crisis. He had just lost his job and was struggling to provide for his young family. As he sat at his kitchen table, head in his hands, he felt a sudden urge to call Sarah. Little did he know that their conversation would change both their lives forever. My brothers and sisters, in our darkest hours, we often forget that we are part of a greater community of faith. The person sitting next to you in church, the neighbor you greet each morning, they too may be fighting silent battles. I challenge you today, reach out to someone in your life. Share your burdens, offer a listening ear, or simply let them know they're not alone. In doing so, you become a vessel of God's love and grace. As for me, I am poor and needy, hasten to me, O God. You are my help and my deliverer, O Lord, do not delay. Sarah's prayer was interrupted by the ringing of her phone. It was Michael, his voice choked with emotion. As they talked, Sarah felt a sudden clarity. She realized that her own struggles had prepared her to help her friend in his time of need. With renewed purpose, she offered Michael a temporary job at her store, an act of faith that would ultimately save both their livelihoods. Beloved, this is the power of community rooted in faith. When we come together in prayer and action, miracles happen. I invite you now to stand up, if you are able. Reach out and hold the hand of the person next to you. Feel the connection, the shared strength, the unspoken understanding that we are all in this together. Now, let us return to the beginning of the psalm, but this time, let's make it personal. O Lord, make haste to help, your name. O God, come quickly to, your name's rescue. As we speak these words, imagine them rising up like incense, filling this space with the sweet aroma of faith and hope. Visualize your urgent needs, your deepest desires, your most pressing concerns being lifted up to the heavens. In the weeks that followed, Sarah and Michael's story spread throughout Arbaville. It inspired others to reach out, to share their burdens, and to offer help where they could. The local church started a support group for small business owners, and Sarah's mother's health began to improve, defying the doctor's grim prognosis. Dear ones, your story may not unfold exactly like Sarah and Michael's, but I assure you that God is working in your life right now, in ways you may not yet see or understand. The key is to remain open, to keep your faith alive. Let those who seek your name's life be put to shame and confusion. Let those who wish your name evil be turned back and brought to dishonor. As we personalize this psalm, remember that it's not about wishing harm on others. Rather, it's a plea for protection, a cry for justice in an often unjust world. It's an acknowledgement that we all face opposition, whether from external forces or our own internal doubts and fears. I invite you now to take a deep breath. As you inhale, imagine drawing in God's strength and love. As you exhale, release all the negativity, all the fear, all the doubt that has been weighing you down. Do this 3 times, slowly and mindfully. Let those who say to your name, turn back because of their shame. In another part of Arbaville, a young man named David was struggling with addiction. He had tried countless times to quit, but always found himself falling back into old patterns. One Sunday, feeling utterly defeated, he decided to attend a church service for the first time in years. As he sat in the back pew, trying to make himself invisible, the pastor began to speak about Psalm 70. David listened, at first with skepticism, then with growing interest. The words seemed to speak directly to his situation, to the shame and hopelessness he felt. Beloved, perhaps you can relate to David's story. Perhaps you too have felt beyond help, beyond hope. I want you to know that no matter where you are, no matter what you've done, you are never too far gone for God's love to reach you. Right now, I invite you to place your hand over your heart. Feel its steady beat, a reminder of the life force within you, the divine spark that can never be extinguished. But may all who seek you rejoice and be glad in you, may those who love your salvation say continually, "Great is the Lord." As David continued to attend services, he found himself drawn into the community. He joined a support group, where he met others who were fighting similar battles. Slowly but surely, with the help of his newfound faith and the support of his church family, David began to overcome his addiction. My friends, this is the transformative power of faith and community. It's not always about dramatic, instant miracles. Sometimes, the real miracle is the slow, steady process of healing and growth that happens when we open ourselves to God's love and the support of others. I challenge you now to think of one area in your life where you need transformation. It could be a habit you want to break, a relationship you want to mend, a dream you want to pursue. Write it down, and then share it with someone you trust. Ask them to pray with you and hold you accountable. As for your name, I am poor and needy, hasten to me, O God. You are my help and my deliverer, O Lord, do not delay. Back in Sarah's store, things were starting to look up. With Michael's help, she had implemented some new strategies, and customers were slowly returning. But more than the financial turnaround, Sarah was amazed at the change in herself. She felt stronger, more resilient, more connected to her faith than ever before. One day, as she was restocking shelves, a young woman entered the store. Sarah recognized her as Emily, a local artist who had been struggling to make ends meet. Emily looked around nervously, clearly uncomfortable. "Can I help you?" Sarah asked gently. Emily hesitated, then blurted out, I heard about what you did for Michael. I was wondering. I hate to ask, but... Sarah smiled, understanding immediately. "Why don't we sit down and talk?" she said, gesturing to a small table in the corner of the store. Beloved, this is how the ripple effect of faith and kindness works. One act of generosity, one answered prayer, can set off a chain reaction that touches countless lives. I invite you now to think of one way you can pay forward the blessings you've received. It doesn't have to be grand or expensive. Sometimes, the most powerful acts of kindness are the simplest. O Lord, make haste to help us. O God, come quickly to our rescue. As we come to the end of our reflection on Psalm 70, let's take a moment to bring all our thoughts, all our prayers, all our hopes and fears together. Imagine them as threads of different colors, weaving together to form a beautiful tapestry of faith. In Arbaville, the stories of Sarah, Michael, David, and Emily continued to unfold. There were setbacks and challenges, moments of doubt and despair. But through it all, they held on to their faith and their connection to each other. Sarah's business not only recovered but thrived, becoming a hub for local artisans like Emily. Michael found a new job that allowed him to spend more time with his family. David celebrated 1 year of sobriety, surrounded by his church family. And Emily's art began to gain recognition, her pieces reflecting the journey of faith and resilience she had witnessed in her community. Dear ones, your story is still being written. The challenges you face today may become the testimony that inspires others tomorrow. I encourage you to keep this psalm close to your heart. Turn to it in times of urgent need, but also in moments of joy and gratitude. Let those who seek our lives be put to shame and confusion. Let those who wish us evil be turned back and brought to dishonor. Remember, this is not about harboring ill will towards others. It's about standing firm in your faith, refusing to let negativity and opposition defeat you. When you face criticism or setbacks, let this verse be your shield and your strength. I invite you now to stand up, if you are able. Stretch your arms out wide, as if embracing the whole world. Now, slowly bring them in, crossing them over your chest in a self-hug. Feel the strength in your own embrace, a physical reminder of the divine love that surrounds and protects you always. Let those who say to us, "Aha!" in your life, who are the voices that try to bring you down? The doubters, the naysayers, the ones who say you're not good enough, smart enough, worthy enough? I want you to imagine those voices as leaves on a tree. Now, visualize a strong wind coming and blowing those leaves away, leaving the tree strong and beautiful in its authenticity. Take a moment now to write down one negative self-talk phrase that you often hear in your mind. Once you've written it, I want you to cross it out firmly. Below it, write an affirmation of truth. For example, if you wrote, "I'm not good enough," cross it out and write, "I am fearfully and wonderfully made." But may all who seek you rejoice and be glad in you, may those who love your salvation say continually, "Great is the Lord." This verse is an invitation to joy, to celebration, to gratitude. Even in the midst of our urgent needs and desperate prayers, we are called to rejoice. This might seem counterintuitive, even impossible at times. But it's precisely in these moments of choosing joy that we often experience breakthrough. I challenge you to start a gratitude journal. Every day, write down 3 things you're thankful for. They don't have to be big things. It could be as simple as a warm cup of coffee, a kind word from a stranger, or the beauty of a sunset. As you cultivate this practice, you'll find that your perspective begins to shift, and you'll start to see God's blessings even in the midst of difficulties. As for us, we are poor and needy, hasten to us, O God. You are our help and our deliverer, O Lord, do not delay. In Arbaville, the transformation that had begun with a few individuals soon spread throughout the community. The local shelter where Sarah used to volunteer saw an influx of new helpers, inspired by her story. The support group for small business owners that had started in the church basement grew into a thriving network, helping many to weather economic uncertainties. One day, as Sarah was locking up her store, she noticed a young man lingering outside. She recognized him as Alex, a teenager who had been struggling in school and had started hanging out with a rough crowd. "Hi Alex," Sarah said warmly. "Is everything okay?" Alex shuffled his feet, not meeting her eyes. I heard about what happened with you and Michael and David. I was wondering, do you think? I mean, could someone like me ever?" Sarah's heart swelled with compassion. "Alex," she said gently, "God's love and grace are for everyone. No exceptions. Why don't you come in for a minute? I'd love to hear your story. Beloved, in your own life, who is the Alex that God is calling you to reach out to? Who is the person that society might overlook, but who is precious in God's sight? I challenge you to be intentional about looking for these opportunities to be a vessel of God's love and grace. O Lord, make haste to help us. O God, come quickly to our rescue." As we come to the end of our reflection on Psalm 70, I want you to take a moment to revisit the urgent need you wrote down at the beginning. How has your perspective on it changed as we've journeyed through this psalm together? Do you feel a renewed sense of hope, a deeper connection to your faith? Remember, the power of this psalm lies not just in the words themselves, but in the heart with which we pray them. It's about cultivating a spirit of urgent faith, a belief that God not only can but will act on our behalf. Let those who seek our lives be put to shame and confusion, let those who wish us evil be turned back and brought to dishonor. In Arbaville, as the community continued to grow in faith and unity, they faced a new challenge. A large corporation wanted to buy out several local businesses, including Sarah's store, to build a shopping mall. The prospect of losing their livelihoods and the close-knit community they had built was daunting. Sarah, Michael, David, and many others gathered in the church to pray. They recited Psalm 70 together, their voices rising in a powerful chorus of faith and determination. As they prayed, ideas began to form. They organized peaceful protests, started petitions, and reached out to local officials. Their unity and perseverance in the face of this threat became a powerful testimony to their faith. Beloved, when you face opposition in your life, remember that you are not alone. You have a community of faith standing with you, and more importantly, you have a God who fights for you. I invite you now to think of a situation in your life where you feel powerless or overwhelmed. Visualize yourself standing firm, rooted in faith, with an army of angels surrounding you. Let those who say to us, "Aha," turn back because of their shame. As the battle over the shopping mall intensified, Sarah and her friends faced criticism and ridicule from those who thought they were fighting a losing battle. There were moments when doubt crept in, when the aha of the naysayers seemed to ring louder than their prayers. But they held on to their faith, supporting each other through the tough times. They remembered the individual stories of transformation they had witnessed, David's journey to sobriety, Emily's blossoming art career, Alex's turn from a troubled path to one of purpose. These stories became their rallying cry, a reminder of what they were fighting for. Dear ones, in your own battles, what are the stories of God's faithfulness that you can hold on to? I encourage you to share these stories with others. Your testimony of God's work in your life could be the very thing that strengthens someone else's faith in their time of need. But may all who seek you rejoice and be glad in you, may those who love your salvation say continually, "Great is the Lord." In the midst of their struggle, the Arbaville community made a conscious decision to keep rejoicing. They organized a town-wide celebration of local businesses, showcasing the unique products and services that made their community special. The event was a huge success, drawing attention from neighboring towns and even catching the eye of some sympathetic media outlets. This joyful approach in the face of adversity not only lifted their spirits but also shifted public opinion in their favor. People were inspired by their resilience and their commitment to preserving the character of their town. Beloved, how can you cultivate joy even in the midst of your urgent needs? I challenge you to plan a celebration. It doesn't have to be big or elaborate. Maybe it's a special meal with loved ones, or a day spent in nature appreciating God's creation. Whatever it is, let it be a deliberate act of rejoicing, a declaration of faith in God's goodness even when circumstances seem dire. As for us, we are poor and needy, hasten to us, O God. You are our help and our deliverer, O Lord, do not delay. As for us, we are poor and needy, hasten to us, O God. You are our help and our deliverer, O Lord, do not delay. In Arbaville, the community's faith and perseverance ultimately paid off. The corporation withdrew its plans for the shopping mall, recognizing the strength and value of the existing local businesses. Sarah's store became a symbol of resilience, and the bonds formed during their struggle created a lasting sense of unity in the town. Beloved, as we conclude our journey through Psalm 70, remember that your urgent needs are heard by a God who cares deeply for you. Like the people of Arbaville, you may find that your challenges become opportunities for growth, unity, and renewed faith. I invite you to carry this psalm with you in the days ahead. Turn to it when you need a reminder of God's swift help and deliverance. Let it inspire you to remain steadfast in faith, quick to rejoice, and always ready to support others in their times of need. May you go forth with the confidence that the Lord hears your cries, that He is your help and deliverer, and that His response to your urgent needs will not delay. Trust in His timing, His wisdom, and His unfailing love. And may all of us, as a community of faith, continue to lift each other up, to share our burdens, and to celebrate God's faithfulness in every season of life. Amen.